believe I have anything she needs.
We don't have to take our clothes off.
There's nothing in this world that
Who do you think you are? Mr. Big Star.
Craig on the album. Matt? Nah. That fool. I don't who Craig.
Some musicians burst onto the scene, drop a chart-topping hit, and then vanish into silence. You think they're just lying low until you realize the truth. Some of them are gone, dead. A few names you'll know, their loss still remembered, but others will shock you. Artists you never even knew had passed. This isn't just music history, it's a chilling reminder of how fleeting fame can be. Let's dive in.
she's like the wind.
First up, we have Patrick Swayze, a name that once lit up Hollywood and the music charts. In 1987, his song She's Like the Wind from the Dirty Dancing soundtrack became an anthem, soaring to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and number 1 on the Adult Contemporary chart. You couldn't escape it. It was everywhere, played on repeat, etched into the memory of a generation. The soundtrack itself dominated the charts for an astounding 18 weeks. But behind the fame and the charm, tragedy struck. In 2008, Swayze was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, a battle few survived.
Pancreatic cancer claims most victims within months of diagnosis.
I'm a miracle dude.
For 20 months, he fought with grit and grace. But on September 14th, 2009, the world lost him at just 57 years old.
Pancreatic cancer at the age of 57, his wife of 34 years at his side.
A very brave 2-year battle he fought, and this morning, friends and co-stars are beginning to release statements.
His body was cremated and his ashes were scattered across his beloved New Mexico ranch, a final return to the place he called home.
He survived 22 months, and I tell you what, it was a tough fight. And talk about a hero. He was a hero and just fought heroically. And
I don't want commercial interruptions.
Next up is Johnny Kemp, a name forever tied to one unforgettable hit. His debut album may have slipped under the radar, but in 1987, everything changed. His sophomore release, Secrets of Flying, catapulted him into the spotlight with 2 massive hits, Dancing with Myself and Just Got Paid. The latter became his defining anthem, climbing to number 1 on the R&B chart, breaking into the Billboard Hot 100's top 10 and selling over 1 million copies in the US. But despite the success, Johnny never chased solo stardom any further. He stayed in the industry, his legacy forever tied to that one timeless track. Then, tragedy struck. In April 2015, Johnny Kemp was found dead at just 55 years old, off the coast of Montego Bay, Jamaica, gone far too soon, leaving fans stunned and grieving.
Let me show you how I walk when I gotta do my funky walk.
Next up, we have Frankie Smith, a man who turned everyday life into pure musical magic. In 1981, he dropped a track that fused the rhythm of a city bus with the playground craze of double dutch, and the result was unforgettable. The song shot straight to the top of the Billboard Soul Singles chart, holding the number 1 spot for 4 straight weeks. But Frankie wasn't just a one-hit wonder. Long before that, he was writing for legends like the OJs and the Spinners, proving his talent ran deep. Years later, in 2006, he tried to make a comeback with a new album, but it never caught fire. And then in 2019, Frankie Smith's story came to a quiet close. He passed away at the age of 79, the cause never revealed, leaving behind a legacy that still echoes on playgrounds and airwaves alike.
Double Dutch is a tribute to all the girls in the world, especially the girls on my block.
You mean you stole this from those little children?
I've been watching them for 25 years.
Just like Uniblab.
Next up is rapper Craig Mack.
The man who lit the spark that launched Bad Boy Records into hip-hop history. In 1994, he dropped Flavor in Your Air, the label's very first hit. The track exploded, climbing to number 1 on the Billboard Rap Songs chart and cracking the Hot 100's top 10.
Then came the remix, an iconic moment that introduced the world to the notorious B.I.G.
But that same moment that made history also cast a shadow over Craig Mack's future. While Biggie rose to superstardom, Craig's career stalled. He released a second album under a different label, but the magic never returned. None of the tracks ever charted.
And then, in 2018, tragedy struck. Craig Mack died from heart failure at just 47 years old, a pioneer whose spark burned bright but far too briefly.
Always too long. Lean on me.
Next up is a shocking one. Two original members of Experience Unlimited, the go-go band that made waves with their breakout hit from the Lean On Me soundtrack. That track stormed the charts, reaching #1 on Billboard's Hot Black Singles in April 1988 and instantly catapulting the group into the spotlight. But behind the music's lasting energy, tragedy struck. In 2005, keyboardist Kent Wood lost his life in a devastating car accident when his vehicle veered off the road and flipped multiple times. Just over a decade later, in 2016, fellow member Ivan Goff died from congestive heart failure. Two lives cut short, leaving fans with music that still echoes, but with a silence that can never be filled. Up next, and this one will shock many, is Jean Knight. Long before Heavy D flipped it for hip-hop,
Who do you think you are? Mr. Big Stuff.
Knight's original Mr. Big Stuff was already a cultural force. In 1971, the track shot to #1 on the R&B chart, holding that spot for 5 straight weeks, and even landed at #18 on Billboard's year-end list. But lightning didn't strike twice. Her follow-up single, You Think You're Hot Stuff, barely made a dent, leaving Mr. Big Stuff as her defining moment. Yet Jean never saw herself as a one-hit wonder. At a 2016 New Orleans festival, she told fans that royalties from the song's endless appearances in films, TV, and covers had kept her financially secure. With a grin, she added, "When the song is played, the checks come to me. All I have to do is sit home and wait for the mailman." Sadly, that legendary voice went silent in November 2023 when Jean Knight passed away at the age of 80 from natural causes.
Anything you want me to.
Next up is Denroy Morgan, a name that carried reggae far beyond the islands. Born in Jamaica, he made his way to the United States in 1965 with dreams of music guiding him. By the 70s, he was playing in a Caribbean ensemble in New York City, but it wasn't until 1981 that he truly carved out his own path. That year, Morgan struck gold with I'll Do Anything For You, a track that climbed to #9 on the American Soul chart and #7 on the dance charts, cementing his place in the spotlight. Just a few years later, in 1984, he broke barriers by signing with RCA Records, becoming the first reggae artist on the label. But behind the music was a man fighting his own battles. After a long struggle with cancer, Denroy Morgan passed away in March 2022 at the age of 76, leaving behind a legacy that bridged reggae and mainstream music.
Veteran Rastafarian reggae singer Denroy Morgan has died. He passed away on Thursday at age 76.
Formed in 1979, Musical Youth was built on the talent of Patrick and Freddie Wade, Kelvin and Michael Grant, and vocalist Dennis Seaton. In 1982, they exploded onto the scene with their smash hit Pass the Dutchie, a single that sold over 4 million copies and became their ticket to history. They weren't just making music, they were breaking barriers, becoming the first Black act to have a music video aired on MTV. But success can be fleeting. While they released more singles, the momentum didn't last, and commercial struggles eventually tore the group apart. Then came tragedy. In 2005, Patrick Wade suddenly collapsed and died from a heart condition at just 24 years old. Nearly 30 years later, in 2022, heartbreak struck again when his brother Freddie passed away. In 2022, at a mental health institution where he had been receiving treatment for schizophrenia, he was only 55. By 1982, Twisted Sister had locked in its classic lineup. JJ French, Eddie Ojeda, Dee Snider, Mark Mendoza, and AJ Pero. Together, they powered through the band's first 4 albums. The early releases gained only underground traction, but everything changed in 1984. Their third album dropped the anthem We're Not Gonna Take It, a Billboard Hot 100 Top 40 hit that shot them straight into mainstream fame. But success came with a price. The albums that followed failed to capture the same magic, and by the late 80s, Twisted Sister disbanded. Still, the group wasn't done. They reunited in the 90s, storming stages worldwide in full makeup, keeping their rebellious image alive. Then, tragedy struck in 2015. While touring with another band, drummer AJ Pero died in his sleep on a bus, the victim of a massive heart attack.
Artisan News is sad to report that Twisted Sister drummer AJ Pero has passed away at the age of 55.
Even in his final days, he remained tied to Twisted Sister, the band that had defined an era of defiance.
That I'm required to do, because if I played in Shred like I do in Twisted, then they would say, AJ, we love you, but we're gonna have to find somebody else.
Overall, RHS and Martha Wash first rose to prominence as backup singers for disco icon Sylvester James, who famously nicknamed them 2 Tons of Fun. Riding that wave of success, they reinvented themselves in the early 80s as the Weather Girls, and in 1982, they unleashed It's Raining Men. The single exploded, quickly becoming an anthem of empowerment and freedom, celebrated by women everywhere. But by 1988, the duo split when Wash left to pursue a solo career. Adora's daughter later stepped in to keep the group alive, though the magic of their breakthrough moment never truly returned. Tragically, in 2004, Adora passed away from heart failure at just 62, leaving behind a legacy forever tied to one of the most unforgettable anthems of its time. Last but not least is Jermaine Stewart, a voice that defined a generation. His 1986 hit, We Don't Have to Take Our Clothes Off, wasn't just a chart topper. It was an anthem of the 80s dance scene, climbing its way into Billboard's top 10 and cementing his place in pop history. But behind the bright lights and infectious beats, tragedy loomed. At just 39 years old, Jermaine Stewart's life was cut short, claimed by AIDS-related liver cancer, ending a career that still echoes through dance floors today.
Well, at the time I just wanted to dance. I had no intentions of singing.
It truly is heartbreaking to see these legends gone, but their voices still live on. Each of them gave us that one unforgettable song, the kind that made us laugh, cry, or get lost in our feelings. And let's be clear, no one can ever replace them. Their music is eternal, their impact undeniable. They'll forever be missed, but as long as their songs keep playing, their magic stays alive.